Welcome to Team Sports Entertainment, your one-stop shop for mature dialogue. We're going to get right to it. Welcome to Team Sports Entertainment, the podcast, your one-stop shop for mature sports dialogue. I'm your host, Earl Teem, alongside my co-host, my big uncle, Alan Teemer. Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and most importantly, hit the notification bell. That way you know Dream Team is when we upload new content. All right, we're getting right to it. The Boston Celtics, currently sitting at the 7th spot, which is in the play-in, right? Yeah. They had a rough week.
I think they had a rough season.
But yeah, that too. Yeah. But now it's all coming to light. Right? Yeah. It's crunch time now. Mm-hmm. Play-in, 2 games behind Miami, just lost to them. And most importantly, they lost, in my opinion, and I think you agree with this, their best player. Jaylen Brown. Yeah, he's out for the season with torn ligaments in his wrist. His wrist, right? So
but he's been having nagging injuries all season. The ankle, I believe at one time it was his knee, but his ankle been bothering him as of late, and so that's why I was shocked when I got the news that he was out for the season. Before I actually read it, I was assuming his ankle that bad, and come to find out it's a different injury that I even knew he had in his wrist. So
all right,
big blow.
Yeah, so we're going to unpack this situation, right, because there's many different layers. They have 4 games left, right? So they're currently 2 games behind Miami, right?
Right.
2 games ahead of Charlotte, who's at the 8th spot. Mm-hmm. And you have Indiana and Washington, who probably can't catch them, all right? So they're pretty much kind of locked into the 7th seed. Their best player is gone. Mm-hmm. What could they possibly do? You're looking at the roster. Obviously, Jaylen Brown is an all-star. 2-way player. They don't have another player like that on the roster.
He's the hardest of the team.
Yeah. So we understand that you got to be competitive in the league, but let's be realistic here. We understand there's fans out there, and we keep it real here at Team Sports. Is their season over?
Well,
because remember, they made conference finals.
That's where they've been.
Yeah. And the next step, as we spoke about in the Eastern Conference preview, early on in the season, we were talking about that's their next step.
Yeah.
Is this season over?
No, it's not over until it's over.
Okay.
That's how I see it. And, of course, I'm not a Boston fan, but I'm thinking as a Boston fan. And a real fan is never giving up on a team when they still have life. I mean, it's not like they even have at an elimination game right now. You know what I mean? So you don't give up until the score shows and the time show you that it's nothing up on the clock. But you have a player like Tatum who's capable of great things. To me, I believe he's a great player, but he just needs to change his style of play.
To perimeter.
I think that Tatum has became Golden State mentality out. It's not your game. I mean, you can hit the shot, but that's all game long. It's just too much. And that's the thing about when I say about Jaylen Brown. He plays defense. On the other end, on offense, he comes in and he attacks the basket. He'll knock down the 3,
create his own shot.
He at times it seems like he's the only one trying to get to the basket, and they get happy with 3-point shooting. And the difference between this Boston team and what I believe they're trying to emulate is the Golden State Warriors. The difference is they move the ball around and got open threes.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Jason Tatum. Dribble. James Harden.
It's funny you say that because you know what? They tried to emulate, like most people, with the small ball, right?
Right.
But there's one thing they don't have on their team.
What's that?
Knockdown shooter. We thought Kemba was that. Kemba has been more streaky in that jersey than I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know if it's that he is not a pure point guard in this league and he just needs to shoot. He needs volume of shots to be effective. But I don't feel as though.
No, I think he was effective last year. I just think that he struggled in the bubble last year. But before the bubble, he was looking real good in Boston. Actually, I thought that Boston was gonna be the team that came out of the West, out of the East. I actually thought they did. What? But you know, I just think that, to me, Tatum, his skill set, he's 6'10", but he plays like a 6'6" shooting guard.
Tatum plays like he's running drills.
Yeah.
It cones out there, two dribbles, sidestep, fadeaway three.
When you got
he's so much better than that. It's frustrating watching him, man.
When you got a clear lane to the basket, I see that a lot. But this is why I don't want to. This is why you're asking me, are they season over? And I don't believe that they're season over, because what if he's changed that? And I've seen him do it. I seen him do it just recently when he dropped 60 points in a comeback win where he was mixing it up. Mm-hmm. He was going to the basket hard, and he was shooting from the outside too. And it all came together, and that's why I was like, this is gonna be scary, not knowing that Jaylen Brown was gonna be out for the season, and thinking that, wow, this is gonna be scary, because if he just did this, and I'm quite sure what I've been watching and all, I'm like, these guys are professionals. They need to know, well, this worked for me, and this is how I came back. We came back from a big deficit and won the game, and then I'll come back. I watch the same other games. It's the same thing. And then it seemed to me, as a team, they don't start playing until they're down 15, 20 points.
Yeah.
And I've seen the league go even higher than that. And they make these fantastic runs in the fourth quarter to come back. But you can't do every game like that.
Nah, I've even seen them be up and they let you right back in the game because they get so perimeter.
Too much perimeter.
I just feel like, listen, I watch Boston play, right? And even not just this season, and you watch them like kind of surprise the league time and time again, get to the conference finals. But it's almost as if every season ends the same way, right? They defeat themselves, right?
Yeah. Now
they're in a position where they're dealing with Marcus Smart injury early on this season.
A lot of injuries. Yeah.
And now you have Jaylen Brown, who's
out for the year. But that's league-wide.
Yeah, that's league-wide. Now, I'll give you that.
And if you notice, I hate to cut you off.
And Kemba was out, too.
If you notice, all the teams that were late in the bubble,
yeah, no doubt.
All of those teams are facing these injuries.
Yeah. They are. And I also feel as though sometimes, for lack of a better term, the window closes, right? Now, when I say the window closes, that doesn't mean you can't get right back. I just feel as though the way this roster is presently put together, a big change needs to be made. Now, it may be maybe even the coach.
Wow. That's the same thing I was just about to say.
Because that's part of the roster too. Because sometimes they're not listening or hearing you. You don't have the passion.
I have one reason for that. Forget the play. Forget that. For the last 3 seasons, the Celtics has had the same problem, and that's the locker room. It's always some bickering coming out of that locker room, and to the point of where and I'm quite sure this happened in a lot of teams, but never not as often as it happened with Boston, where now it's in the media and whatever, who is actually involved and all that it comes out. And it's always the same culprits. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. But you never really hear Tatum as far as in those quarrels. But to me, Marcus Smart would be one of the 6 Men of the Year candidates. He's that role player that, well, he always used to be that. But now, to me, I think he kind of plays like he's one of the
Big 3?
He's a
like in the bubble, a lot of bad shots.
These are play. If he can stay with the role that made him valuable.
Yes.
I believe that will help Boston.
Yeah.
I think he takes, because we're already talking about Tatum taking too many 3-point shots. Marcus Smart takes a lot of 3-point shots.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker takes a lot of 3-point shots.
All perimeter.
Fournier is taking a lot of 3-point shots. So they're more, and their bigs are not really, inside present bigs
Grant
offensively.
Williams, he's small.
Right. They're not, and they're shooting threes too.
Yeah.
So you're not Golden State of the the championship Golden State.
So pretty much the way their roster's set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get no easy buckets.
Time out. The way their roster's set up. So we're pointing fingers, right? We already said maybe there need to be a change coaching, but Danny Ainge.
How many deals gonna go by and he?
You had all the stock there was, and you wouldn't. You saving draft picks.
Jimmy Butler, he let him go by, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to let the deal go for Harden, right? I think Paul George, a couple of years, his name was being thrown around. Yeah. What is he waiting on?
He was waiting on. On Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. But you should have moved on from there when the guy was telling you right out in the open that I don't want to go there. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna re-sign with you. Yeah. Okay, go make another deal when you have all of these draft picks to get players that can come in and help that team. And they're not young anymore.
They're not. Well,
they're already. Young. He's not young because by age, but he has experience. He's been.
No, I get what you're saying. No, you're right. I stand correct. I know what
they've
you're
been in Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I get it.
And you should not be making the same mistakes over and over again. Boston and is. Danny Ainge got some pieces there. I can understand the Tristan Thompson pickup. I can understand that. I liked it, but it's still not fitting in the way I thought it would. Yeah. But I can understand why they made it.
Because it only makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Because now we're talking about an injury to one of your best players. Right. So now that pickup is null and void. It don't even matter.
Right. Well, then, can you imagine at this point them going into a possible play-in game, end of the season, you find out you lose Brown. What if Danny Ainge, to his defense, didn't make a deal to get Fournier? They would be really having a problem going into this. Fournier is starting to come around. More games he played with them, I think that chemistry could possibly come up into the play-in or the playoffs if they make it in. And this is why I'm saying I won't say that their season is over, because I've seen them struggle this time of year every year. That I've seen Boston do this, and they have their little squirmels in the locker room, but when the playoffs start, they're right there. I don't know how easy that's going to be this year without Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown will lock down other teams' best offensive player.
Yeah. All right, so let's just focus on the play-in, right? Mm-hmm. If the play-in started today, who would they play? Charlotte, right?
Charlotte. And
they'll be playing a player that they've sacrificed so much in the locker room for, right? Gordon Hayward.
Oh, wow. What a scenario.
He's somewhere else now. That was another problem. Brad Stevens. It's like a never-ending soap opera. All of this could have been rectified so long ago. Terry Rozier's over there, too.
Oh, what?
You think they don't want that? They want all that smoke.
That's going to be a nice scenario. Oh God, this play-in thing that I wasn't really for it's becoming a very exciting.
It's drama after drama.
Yeah, because now when you look at that, look at the play-ins. Although we're talking about Boston in the West, you might have a Golden State, Lakers. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just realizing that it's not a rivalry, but Rozier and Gordon Hayward is coming back to possibly face the Boston Celtics in a play-in series.
With no Jaylen Brown, your best defender.
Oh,
Marcus Smart is a great defender, but Jaylen Brown, 1 through 4, he can lock down most players.
and Charlotte is a young, dangerous team because they have nothing to lose.
Nothing.
I think they exceeded everybody's expectations. Although they're in the play-in, that's still from. I didn't expect them to be there.
No.
You know.
Something to think about, man. That's why we love the league, man. But Boston, it just sounds like we sound so down and like somber because it's almost like we give them a eulogy because I feel bad.
The reason why is because
I feel bad, man.
But the reason why is here at Team Sports. If you go back to our Eastern Conference season preview,
yeah,
we had Boston 2 or 3 possibly.
Yeah, they was definitely top 4.
Yeah, they were
without a doubt.
No doubt about it, and with a chance to actually be coming out of the East, and for them to be in a play-in game is a little disturbing, and it takes a little breath out of you. That's why we sound like that.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting to talk about Boston, we just haven't got around to them all season.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard when Boston is a different type of with their fans. They're different.
Yeah.
And we didn't know if you guys was going to accept us because we're not Boston fans, but we respect the game. And so we kind of put off doing an episode on Boston. And now getting this news is with Jaylen Brown and like you said, how we sound, because that's exactly how it is. It's not that we in love with Boston, but we love this game so much.
No doubt.
Like I said, I thought the Celtics was one of the top 4 best teams in the East, and now they dropped down to the 7, and losing Jaylen Brown, we had to get out and say something about this.
Yeah, man, that was imperative, man. So
Can you imagine how their fans feel today?
I can only imagine.
And knowing and watching them struggle, and then you get news like this today. As a fan, we're fans.
I'm in some of their groups, and I watch what they post and what they speak about, and a lot of them feel the way we do, even with the Brad Stevens situation, Danny Ainge. You got to think about where they are, right?
Yeah.
Boston. That's a winning community. We talking about the Patriots. They're used to chips.
Yeah.
So conference
they got 17 banners.
Yeah, that don't mean nothing. You got the Bruins, like they don't really. Those conference finals are nice, but they want it all.
Right.
And to have a roster or to have the talent to get you there, and you consistently
and you can't get
over
together.
the hump, they're spoiled, and they should be because they're used to winning.
Yeah.
And now they have to deal with this, and I just feel like a lot of this could have been prevented.
Yeah.
Had they not waited on certain people, like the Kyrie situation, it was just so much, man. A lot of sitting around and waiting on Danny Ainge's part.
Wait a minute. They didn't get anything for Kyrie, did they? Did Kyrie?
No, he was a free agent.
Yeah.
He said he was going to stay. If you'll have me, I'll stay. And he bounced.
Wow. No sign and trade.
Gordon Hayward, gone.
They didn't get anything from.
What was it, sign? But it wasn't. Was it a sign and trade with Charlotte?
I believe so, because they was
they
was working a deal. Hayward was working a deal with.
But who was a part of that deal? Because
I got to do my research.
Because Fournier was part of the
buyout trade
deadline.
Trade deadline.
Yeah, so it's a lot, man. There's a lot of layers to this, man. I just feel like
they should not be a 7. They should not be in the 7 seed for a playing game.
And even when Jaylen Brown was there, we would watch them. There's a lot of games that they would just.
But Jaylen been in and out all season.
Yeah,
he's been in and out. You know, I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
I'm just not counting them out.
Nah, I'm not gonna count them out, but they got a tough hill to climb, and now a ceiling is evident. I don't see
short time.
Yeah,
to get it done.
To
4
see
games left.
Yeah,
Miami, Cleveland, Minnesota, and the Knicks.
Yeah,
and really, if they don't get tomorrow, that Miami game is huge. That's determine if they win or lose. As I think they need to make sure that if they lose that game, they just need to make sure that they stay at the 7th spot.
Yeah, because they can control their own destiny as far as a home game in the play-in.
Right. I think So if they lose this game against Miami, which they should come to play.
They should.
And if they play the way, that's the thing about it. If they play what way they're capable of playing, they could beat anybody. Yeah. That's the thing about it. It's not like they play
in the one game series.
The faith I have in them and of their ability and what they're capable of. Philly, the number 1 seed. I can see them beating Philly. I can see them beating Brooklyn.
Well, I'll tell you this.
What?
If they're going to play either one, if they're going to play Philly, Brad Stevens better get that starting lineup together because Kemba, Marcus Smart, and Fournier starting, and Tatum at the 4, that's not happening.
It's not going to work.
No, that's not going to work.
Tristan Thompson will be some resistance compared to the rest of the league as far as, because right now Embiid just been playing great, but he will be some resistance, but definitely not enough. And you're gonna need some size out there. Yeah.
So it's a lot, but before you even get there, they have to control their own destiny, win some of these last 4 games, and then hopefully win that play-in. They'll get 2 opportunities because they're in the 7th or 8th spot, and we'll see what happens. But I just feel like Hughes bloated them using Jaylen Brown, Brad Stevens. Hopefully, I'm at a loss for words for him. I don't know if his message isn't clicking.
I don't get it because early on when he first got there, I love the movement and the cutting and all. You don't see that anymore.
It's a lot of one-on-one ball
for a step back 3, or a step to the side 3. It's not that same. His offense was not this. It's to the point where I almost forgot exactly how it was when he first got to Boston, because they had a dangerous offensive system that seemed like it that they would get better each year. But it seemed like now, the more, and that's why I blame Tatum, because Tatum has the ball in his hands a lot. He does a lot of dribbling, and he does all that dribbling to get a shot that he don't take much to set up. He run the shot clock down, and then he pull up for a shot, a contested 3 at that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Boston Celtics, can't count them out, but it's not looking pretty.
I think you said it best. I don't need to say anything else. All right, y'all. This is Team Sports Entertainment, the podcast. I'm your host, Earl Teemer. Big Uncle's the co-host. Leave a comment below. Let us know. Boston fans out there, anyone else who's watching, what do you think? What are your projections going forward with the news of Jaylen Brown being out? Can Boston win their playing game? And if so, how deep did you have them going into the playoffs, right? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also hit that notification bell. That way you know when we upload new content. All right, we out of here. Team Sports Entertainment. Y'all be good.
Peace.